Welcome back to the Spectral series, a podcast where we look at the unexplained, creepy things that have happened. Today I have Aoife with me, and we're going to take a look at the allegedly true ghost encounters that have been posted on Reddit. I'll leave the link to all the posts in the description if you want to have a look through the comments. People come up with some pretty good explanations. So, Aoife, do you believe in ghosts?
No, but I do like me a good spooky story. I think it's quite fun when things aren't completely explained, but I don't think I believe in ghosts.
This is fair enough, yeah. I think most of the co-hosts or guests or whatever on this aren't actually going to believe in ghosts, so...
I very much enjoy the spooky stories, so I'm here for that.
Alright, so we'll just jump in right away with our first story. While listening to music, I saw this weird broken back crawling pale thing, and when I turned the lights on, it wasn't there. There is nothing white or pale in my room, and it was super hard to see. After that, I keep seeing white or pale hands and arms that seem to be reaching out to me when I'm not looking. And when I turn towards them, they always disappear. I know I'm not seeing things because it stays for a while before hiding again. Does anyone have an explanation for this? Or does anyone know who this creature might be? It seems like a very feminine creature. No hair anywhere, pale, crawls, and looks like a human. Kind of like the rake, but healthier. It never seems to hurt me or attempted to do anything. It seems like it mostly wants to just scare me. How do I make this creature go away? Alright, so what do we make of that then?
What would you do if you had a creepy thing that kept showing up?
I would
arms?
cry. I would definitely... I would not be
Oh,
okay
no.
with that. My first thought, what it could possibly be, would be sleep paralysis.
Have you experienced that before?
Well, once when I was staying here, I woke up and there was like this old lady at the end of the bed, and I was just staring at it.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was like I was awake, and the old lady ran at me and screamed and like jumped onto the bed, and then I like woke up properly. And I think that
Oh boy.
it was a lot.
Oh boy. So I've had it once as well, and I tend to lucid dream quite a lot, so I can normally tell when things are not real, and this is like one of the few times where I've been like, right, am I hallucinating or am I asleep? I don't actually know. And I had it where I was like, literally, there were chains and I was attached to the bed, and there were like, I don't know if have you seen Full Metal Alchemist?
No, I haven't.
There's a thing in it that's like called Truth or whatever, like the big bad, and he has all these creepy tiny black hands that are on like really long skinny, and they're just basically a bunch of them appeared out of nowhere, and it was just whoa.
That's so awful. Oh my god.
I think yours wins in the scaring front. I don't know how I'd feel if someone screaming at me.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, both sound pretty awful, to be honest. Also, I think the alien card might actually be played here, because like a white, pale, creepy thing running around, that could kind of be an alien, right?
Possibly, but also, how do we know what aliens look like?
That's very true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Although I hope it would be that. That would be kind of fun. Well, who was it? Who was that guy who was claiming that he was? Oh, it was some politician who was claiming he had spoken to the Intergalactic Committee or something, and it was just the most ridiculous news story I've ever read.
Oh, that was
That guy would be on it.
There was a guy in Canada, politician, who claimed that the human race had spoken to 4 types of alien species, and they were like all on Earth at the moment. And he like went into like really great detail about these different alien species, but no one seems to talk about it or take him seriously.
That's completely wild.
Yeah.
Like, part of me hopes that'd be true, because that'd be really cool, but also like debatable.
It's pretty bad, to be honest.
The interesting thing about this story is when I read it, I know one of the potential options is sleep paralysis, but it doesn't really read like it would be that.
Yeah, she doesn't say that she was like asleep.
Yeah. Normally it's that you're stuck on your bed and there's a thing. But this just sounds like she's doing like, it just sounds like she's doing normal things and then there's a thing that appears.
Yeah, it's really weird. I can't imagine this happening, and I don't know like how long of like a span of time that this was happening to her, but like imagine if this was happening every day for like a month. How awful.
I think I'd move. I think I would move away from wherever I was.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shall we move on to the second story then?
Absolutely.
Alright. So instead of one for just the second story, there are going to be two, because they're short encounters that kids have had with ghosts. My niece was 3 when she passed. The other day, it was 7 years since she passed, and me and my 4-year-old daughter took some flowers to her grave. As we were leaving, I was buckling her in her car seat, and she looks over at my niece's grave through the window and says, "Look, Mummy, I see her. She's looking at the flowers and she's wearing a gold dress." It gave me chills and I can't stop thinking about it. A kid died in my neighbourhood house before we moved there. I used to play with him very vividly and called him Walter. My parents didn't tell me that the former owner's kid died in the house and was also named Walter. They never told me about this incident because I was only 5 to 9 and they didn't want to scare me. I can still hear Walter playing in the hallway when I visit my parents.
Firstly, can I say the second one is utterly nightmares?
I know.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine finding out that your childhood imaginary friend was
a dead kid?
That's mad.
No. The first one I think is actually kind of sweet. Like I kind of hope that's true in some ways because that's kind of cute. But whoever wrote it said it gave them the chills. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah,
like it's spooky, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I think from like an outsider perspective, you can be like, oh, that's really nice and sweet that like, you know, that person is there and like seeing the flowers. But if you were in that moment and your child said they were seeing a ghost at the grave, I would be like, that would like freak me out so much.
It would be pretty terrifying, but I think if you were to look back on it, you go, actually, that's not bad. Like, it's not great, it's still scary, but it's not bad. Yeah, I don't know how to. The second one is just 1,000 nopes. That's I'd be moving country. I'd be telling my parents to move. I'd be gone.
Can you imagine the parents like when they heard that their kid was playing with their imaginary child friend called Walter? That would just be crazy.
This says that they were there for at least 4 years because the person writing was between 5 and 9.
Yeah.
I would have moved. I would have gone. Those are some brave people.
Literally.
Like fairs. But oh my god. No. And I don't even really believe in ghosts, and that's a big nope. Like I'm not taking my chances.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. When kids say that they see like somebody there, it's so much more scary than if an adult saying it, because why would they lie or make anything up? It's purely just what they know.
Yeah, no, not great. Well, I hope Walter's doing well in the world. It's fine.
Yeah. Alright, shall we go for the third story then?
Yes.
You are going to think I'm insane, but I think I've just witnessed a group of deer getting attacked by the air or something. I'm rather terrified right now, and I want to know if anyone has an idea as to what this could have been. So I was out on a walk with my dog, and we were sitting alone along the brook by my home. There were a huge group of deer across the brook, like 20 of them at least, and they were all just staring at us. After a few minutes, a strange, loud, pulsing whoosh sound started coming at them, and they started sprinting around in circles like maniacs. The two fell to the ground. I then ran harder than I've ever run before. I've been thinking about what that sound could be. It makes no sense to me and is absolutely terrifying. The deer looked like they were running from something they could see, but all I saw were themselves. Does anyone know what this could possibly be? I'm happy to answer any further questions the best I can. This one...
How would you react if that were you?
It's weird. Animals are weird, you know? Like, I don't think this is like a ghost. A ghost attacking the deer.
It could be, but it depends. It depends where this is, right? So I'm making the assumption that the person who wrote this is from the States.
Probably, yeah.
Where guns are allowed. That's immediately what I'm jumping to. Is it could be that there were a bunch of people who were hunting deer, and they were all hidden away somewhere a bit further back, and they managed to hit two of them. But I'm not sure if that would explain the sound.
Yeah, you'd think the person would definitely hear gunshots if that were the case, not just a large whoosh of air. Yeah, I read also...
Yeah, I don't know how guns work, though.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never heard of gunshots, so... I read in the comments that when birds get spooked, they could, like, you know, spook the deer. So maybe the guy didn't see birds in the distance flying away, and the flapping of the wings of loads of birds might have caused a really loud air noise and scared the deer?
Possibly. The only problem with that is I don't know how that would explain two of them falling to the ground. Like, that would have to be a big bird. A big fella. And you'd think that someone would be able to see a bird that could do that. But that is possible.
It's difficult. I think that's probably like the most grounded idea, but it doesn't explain...
But yeah, it doesn't quite fit, does it?
Yeah.
It's not quite right.
Yeah. Also, direct energy weapons. Do you know about direct energy weapons and stuff?
I do not. Please tell me. Right,
so basically the government have lasers pretty much, and they can just bounce them off satellites and hit anywhere in the world, and it happens so quickly you don't see anything. So maybe the government, the American government, for some reason, decided to test them out on the deer. And that's why two of them died and he didn't see anything. And maybe the laser made a whoosh noise when it came down and hit.
I'm gonna be real, if the American government were testing something quite like that, I'm pretty sure it'd be more destructive. They already did their nukes in the desert.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit catastrophic. If they had a laser that was that powerful, they would be doing more than hitting two deer.
Yeah, I think this one's a bit far-fetched, but...
A little bit, but conspiracy theories are fun.
Yeah, I think, there's a little chance that it could have been that. Also, infrared sound, I don't know, I guess... I don't know where the infrared sound would be coming from, in this case specifically. Maybe there's energy plants nearby, or some sort of big producer of energy nearby that could have thrown out enough infrared sound to make someone feel sick or whatever.
Yeah, so that one's interesting, because one, we don't know fully what a deer specifically would hear.
Mm.
And also, I saw an article recently that was saying that the noise from, like, there's a such thing as noise pollution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like ships moving, docks working, people living in cities, like the oceans can hear it, all the fish can see it and hear it, and it does affect the wildlife. So it would be interesting to see if like something like phone signal could do that. I don't know how that would work, but they're possibly, but I'm doubtful. That kind of stuff might affect bats more, or like things that have really attuned hearing.
Yeah, deers are they're big animals, you know, they're not quite as sensitive. I don't know, I'm not a deer expert, but I wouldn't have thought it would cause so much.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a little bit more grounded, I think.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of logic there. Like, we don't fully know how our technology affects the environment because, you know, we're still making new stuff, so...
Yeah. Very true. Alright, so the fourth story shall we go on to? Last night, my roommate went down to take out the trash. We had a couple of White Claws, so my other roommate and I went up and met up with her, so she wasn't alone.
Is that a drink, may I ask?
Yeah, I think it's like vodka and lemonade.
Yeah, right, because we just have a couple of like actual claws. It's a little bit sus.
Yeah, it's like an American thing, I think.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, so we couldn't find her near the trash cans, so we thought she may have gone outside for a walk since she'd done that drunk before. When we went outside, my roommate looked to the left and started to walk, but then she turned right and started running. I looked to the right and I saw what I thought was my other roommate too. I started jogging in order to catch up with my roommate, running towards the figure in the distance. However, as I got closer, I realised it was not my roommate. It was a tall, about 7 foot, its upper body was huge and its legs were skinny. It was standing with its legs wide open and knees bent. I screamed to my roommate next to me, "That's not her, I don't even think it's human." My roommate kept running, and a couple seconds later she stopped in her tracks. "Run and don't look back," she said to me. I started running back to the apartment, and I looked back at the figure. It did not move its body, but somehow it was closer to us. My roommate grabbed my hand and told me not to slow down. We both looked back once more, and it had totally disappeared. We went down this morning to see if it could have been a tree or something, but nothing was there. Let me know if I'm crazy. Thanks so much. I can upload a drawing if you need further description. Also, I never felt like I was being threatened. It was scary, but it didn't seem to be focusing on us. That might sound weird, but it felt like it had another target, and it was focusing on it and didn't even acknowledge us until we started running away. So this is a horrifying image.
Yeah, no, it sounds like Slenderman's origin story.
Yeah. Oh.
I know it's not that, but like, good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The first thing that comes to mind is if they had booze, that's a possibility. But also, I don't even think the drunkest person in the universe could come up with that. Like,
yeah. Also, it's like 2 people saying the same thing.
Yeah, they would both have to be completely smashed.
Yeah.
Like, beyond that.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think I've ever been drunk enough to the point where I've been hallucinating horrifying figures in the dark.
Would have to be some special alcohol.
Yeah, maybe some absinthe or something would make you hallucinate like that. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does to me sound like a skinwalker. Do you know what skinwalkers are?
I think so, and if it is what I think it is, I do actually have something interesting to say about that.
Okay, so skinwalkers are like a Native American folklore kind of thing, and they're basically like big animals that can kind of shapeshift and like mimic voices and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what they are in essence.
So the interesting thing I heard about things like that and Wendigos is that firstly, for some people that is part of their religion. It's not just like a folklore thing. Like, you have to be really careful with stuff like this, because sometimes it comes off as being incredibly offensive, but other times it's like you just have to treat it carefully. So in this case, I don't think, I mean, it could be, but like, why would a spirit, I don't know, do you say it was like Native American, right?
I think so, yeah.
Why would a Native American spirit be anywhere near someone who doesn't like believe in that? Like, it's more, it's a really fine line to tread when it comes to that sort of thing, because you don't want to make it out to be specifically just a horror thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've watched a few videos about skinwalkers. There's a place in America called Skinwalker Ranch, and it's kind of turned into a big tourist attraction almost.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing you got to be careful with, because you've got to try and steer away from the cultural appropriation side of things.
Yeah.
Like, it would be interesting, genuinely really interesting, to hear the point of view of someone who is Native American about all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would find that really interesting.
That would be interesting. There's probably stuff on YouTube about people talking about it in interviews and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, just from the stories that I've heard about skinwalkers, it does sound like when they aren't mimicking the form of something else, they kind of sound like that, like really tall and like almost human, but like not quite human. Mm-hmm. So it kind of sounds like it could be that.
I for one would not want to mess with any sort of spirit from anywheres.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one episode in Buffy.
Oh,
there's that thing that turns into the bear and shoots Spike on the chair with all the arrows, and it just avoids his heart to the tie.
That's a good episode, I have to say.
That is a good episode. Just a really tall person is the other possible explanation.
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
I thought that could be, if you were drunk, maybe this person was like wearing a mask or something, and they just were running towards this random person, and he like turned and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it could have just really freaked them out, you know?
A really tall person. I'm trying to think of someone who'd be really tall who'd have those weird proportions.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people out there, you know?
They're completely wild. I hope they just saw a tall person and that it wasn't in fact some sort of ghost or demon, because oh boy.
Yeah.
They didn't even say what happened to their roommate. So they went looking for their roommate, right? So there were two of them, right? And they went looking for a third roommate.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah.
And then the two of them never found them, and they just found the thing.
And they just ran back inside.
And they just left. Like, girl, they need better friends. Would you save me from a really long, tall, lanky, scary thing?
I would try.
Would all of us do?
Yeah, I quite like this story. This is probably one of my favourite ones.
It's quite spooky, isn't it? I still think the one about the kid having the imaginary friend who was in fact someone who previously lived on the property and then was dead, by far the spookiest one.
Yeah, that's
hideous.
Yeah, and Walter's not even like, it's not even a common name, you know? If it was something like
it'd have to be
John.
quite a way back, yeah.
Yeah. So, the fifth story then. And this will probably be the last one, depending on how long it takes. So, about 3 or 4 days ago, I was treating the night like any other. I was laying in bed in the dark and watching YouTube on my phone. I eventually got tired, so put my earbuds in and tried to get some sleep. I started hearing a faint buzzing sound a bit after I lied down and got comfortable. I thought it was my earbuds, so I took them out to adjust them, but the buzzing wouldn't stop. I was so scared I hid under my covers and tried ignoring the buzzing. Eventually I got to sleep, but it was weird. It felt like I was falling asleep and waking up instantly over and over again all night long. It's like my sleep was being stolen from me all night. Eventually 8 o'clock came around and I woke up to get the day started. Now let's fast forward to now when I'm writing this. The past couple of nights, nothing too crazy has been happening, but I still feel that spirit or whatever it is in my room at night. Tonight was different though. I tried getting some sleep and I fell asleep with no worries. I had a nightmare that I can't really remember, but I do remember someone screaming, "Don't do that," and then I woke up in a cold sweat under my covers and freaked out. I laid there trying hard to breathe and I was terrified to move. I started to feel sexual things. I was laying there under my covers and every time I thought about moving or turning on my lamp, I got really bad chills and then some odd sexual feelings. Eventually, I did gain enough courage to quickly move up and turn on the light while catching my breath. And to my surprise, nothing was there. But I still feel the presence. In fact, I still hear a low-pitched ringing sound as I write this. I texted a friend that I trusted and told them all about this. They suggested some things, but they aren't a paranormal expert, so I'm asking Reddit for help. Does anyone know what this is? Does anyone know how to get rid of it? Please help me.
Aw, I like the implication that Reddit is a paranormal expert now.
Yeah, it's nice.
Living for that. Part of me, the first thing that comes to mind as a musician is tinnitus, but that's normally a high-pitched ringing sound, but it is a ringing sound.
What's that?
It's where you have like a permanent ringing sound in your ears.
Oh.
So like, you know when you go to a concert, sorry COVID, like a proper loud one.
Yeah.
And then you come out and there's that ringing noise.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was really loud inside and you've come out to dead silence.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Basically that all the time is tinnitus.
Oh, okay. That sounds like that could be it. To be honest.
That's not the way you want to discover that you have that.
Yeah, I also think it's mad that she goes to sleep at night with her earbuds in, like, every night.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that every night. That's going to damage your hearing. That's not great.
Yeah, that's intense. I'm just thinking, I thought it was earbuds as in, like, headphones. Like, you know, to listen to music or whatever. But maybe it's earbuds as in, like, stuff to stop you hearing things.
Earplugs, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Either one of those. But, it's, what's strange about this is, like, the sexual feelings because of it, you know?
It's a little bit odd.
It's, like, I've been scared for no reason a lot, like, at night and not wanting to move or whatever. But I've never had, like, a sexual feeling because of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a bit strange.
Mm.
I don't know if that's a ghost problem or a them problem. That's the issue there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously there are succubuses and incubuses, supposedly, which are like demons that sleep with men and women. But I don't know if that would kind of be like
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful to think about. And there's some, like, horrific things that people have gone through that, you know, they think is due to that. But
surely if that were the case, you'd see them, or are they, like, spirity type things?
I don't know. I think it's more like you just like wake up in the night or whatever and you just feel it happening to you. From what I've heard from, watching
that
videos.
Sounds utterly unpleasant, honestly.
Yeah, it's quite awful.
Well, maybe they just need to listen to on their earbuds some lovely relaxing rain music.
Yeah. There's some great YouTube videos that are like 10 hours long that'll get you through.
Literally, I used them at uni because the girl upstairs used to stomp around at 2 a.m.
Oof.
every night.
Yeah.
Do we have time for the last one?
Yeah, we could squeeze it in with editing. It'll probably be a bit shorter.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to try and make this short. I've had a lot of strange experiences when I was around 13 and 14. Angry teenager and interested in the occult. Maybe I will get around to posting more of them here now I've found this community. I've tried over the course of a lifetime to explain away as teenage angst or fantasy, but I can't explain all of them away. One experience in particular that defies this kind of explanation. I had one of those double-mirrored closets in my room. It was fixed onto the closet and hadn't been loose or broken. One day, in the period when I was having all these experiences, I came home from school and went up to my room to drop my backpack, and my double-mirrored door was teetering back and forth in the middle of the room. I watched it for a second, then I went to grab it so it wouldn't tip over, and it quickly smashed down on top of me. I ducked and the top of the mirror, thankfully, hit the backrest of the chair behind me. Glass showered all over me, but I wasn't hurt. I was terrified. I told my parents at the time, and they just bought me a new mirror door and replaced it. I'm older now, with my own family and a professional career, and I haven't been able to shake it. I've since asked my parents what they thought at the time. They admitted it was strange, but didn't know any more than I did. Anyone else have something like this happen?
So, is what they're saying that the door came off itself and broke?
I think so, yeah. I've got like a cupboard in my room that has a glass door. So
yeah.
One side you can use as a mirror. I can't imagine any scenario where like the brackets would come off and fall on me.
Yeah, that sounds like it would take a lot of force.
Yeah. And especially he came into the room and the mirror was already going back and forth and nobody was in there in the first place. And it's almost like it kind of waited for him to get in the room before it fell.
Then to smash. Yeah. It specifically wanted to put all of its 7 years bad luck on this one person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
yeah, that's odd. That's odd.
If they had any siblings, they thought maybe it would be like a funny joke to like take the mirror off. But
yeah, but we both have siblings, and both of us know that that's even too far-fetched for that madness.
Yeah, I can't imagine that happening, to be honest.
That one sounds kind of unexplainable, especially if it was like, well, we don't know from this if it was like properly secured to the cupboard anyways. But yeah, that's a no. That's a no from me.
Big no. And I like how the parents didn't like go up and have a look or anything. They just straight away bought a new mirror. They were like, it's fine.
I mean, we don't technically know that. They could have had a look at it and gone, yeah, you need a new mirror.
I suppose
stood
so.
there with loads of glass, like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fair enough. I would have got a new mirror.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably would have been traumatised from the first mirror almost falling on me, to be fair. I don't know if I would have wanted another mirror.
A small one this time. Just a small one.
Yeah, a little one. Yeah, so that was probably one of the most unexplainable ones out of all of them. Nice to finish it off like that.
Which was your favourite?
I really like the going out drunk and getting chased by a tall person. That's probably
right.
my favourite one. What about you?
That's up there in terms of spooky. I like that one also. I think my favourite one was definitely the really short one about the Walter. Was it Walter? The ghost Walter.
Yeah.
That was spooky.
Yeah, that was probably the shortest one out of all of them, and packs a lot of punch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. But I think all of these, I chose these ones in particular because they seem quite grounded. Like, they seem like they actually happened, and whether or not it was like, you know, something paranormal going on or whatever, I think these things actually happened to these people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been a bit different if it was like, oh, the doll in my room moves every night and once I heard it talk. Because I think that's just a little bit, that's just like not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, because sometimes you can't quite tell with the internet if people are like exaggerating.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially on Reddit and Tumblr, good lord.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's all we have time for today. If you've stuck around for this long, thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Aoife, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. There are many more episodes to come, so stick around for more unexplained creepiness.